Hi dear students, this class I am going to start a new chapter, that is linear programming. From this particular chapter, in every year in board exam they are going to give 6 marks. This chapter is exclusively for board exam, not required for any objective exam. So directly I am coming to the second exercise of NCERT textbook for this particular chapter. So I am not discussing any detailed concepts. Along with the first question, I will try to discuss all the points which are involved in this particular chapter. Right? See the first question. First one, we have to read the question. First of all of you read the question. You have to read the question thoroughly. After reading the question, you have to get a clarity about the information. Then after getting a clarity about the question, you have to make a mathematical formulation for that question, right? So observe here, a manufacturer produces nuts and bolts. It takes 1 hour of work on machine A and 3 hours on machine B to produce a package of nuts. It takes 3 hours on machine A and 1 hour on machine B to produce a package of bolts. He earns a profit of 17.5 per packet on nuts, 7 rupees per packet of bolts. How many packet of each should be produced each day so as to maximize his profit? He operates his machines for the at most 12 hours per day. So we have machine is there, machine A and machine B, and two types of items we are producing, nuts and bolts. Here I am assuming we are producing X packets of nuts and Y packets of bolts to get the maximum profit. X packets of nuts and Y packets of bolts to get the maximum profit. What is saying in the question? For a manufacturing of 1 packet of nuts, machine A has to work 1 hour, machine B has to work 3 hours. Profit on nuts is equal to 17.5 rupees. For a production of 1 packet of bolts, machine A has to work 3 hours, machine B has to work 1 hour. Profit on 1 packet of bolts is equal to 7 rupees. And also in the question the information is given as machine A maximum we can use 12 hours per day. We can't use more than 12 hours. Machine B maximum we can use 12 hours per day. We can't use more than 12 hours. So this is the clarity about the given question, right? Now after getting a clarity about the given question, this table is not compulsory. If possibility is there, you can draw the table, otherwise table is not compulsory. Just I am drawing the table to give a clarity about the question. Okay, now observe here, for 1 packet of nuts, machine A is working 1 hour. For 1 packet it is working 1 hour, means for X packets it has to work X hours. For X packets it has to work X hours. So I am assuming the manufacturer is producing X packets of nuts, and Y packets of bolts. He is manufacturing X packets of nuts and Y packets of bolts per day. That I am assuming. Come on, tell me, X greater than or equals to 0, Y also greater than or equals to 0, because the number of packets of nuts, number of packets of bolts always greater than or equals to 0. These are called as non-negative constraints. Because I am not discussing the detailed concepts, that is the reason here only I am discussing what are these. X greater than or equal to 0, Y greater than or equal to 0, these are called as non-negative constraints. No need to write this one in the exam. Just for the information purpose I am saying to you. Right. Next, for one packet of nuts it is working 1 hour. So for X packets it has to work X hours. At the same time, for one packet of bolts, machine A is working 3 hours. For one packet it is working 3 hours, means for Y packets it has to work 3Y hours. That's why the total time machine A is working X plus 3Y, that is the total time machine A is working, that must be less than or equals to 12. At the same time, machine B, for one packet of bolts it is working 3 hours. For one packet of nuts it is working 3 hours. For X packets it has to work 3x hours. For one packet of bolts it is working 1 hour. For Y packets it has to work Y hours. That's why the total time machine B is working is given by 3x plus y, that is the total time machine B is working, that must be less than or equals to 12. And also in the question the information is given as one packet of profit is 17.5 rupees. For one packet of bolts the profit is 7 rupees. Now for X packets the profit is 17.5 into X. For Y packets of bolts the profit is 7Y. This is called objective function. What we will call this one as objective function, which we have to maximize, because the profit we have to get a maximum, and these are called as constraints. Earlier we are calling it as a non-negative constraints, and these are called as constraints. Either this one or this one or this one, not required to give, because specially I haven't mentioned the definitions. That's why in the question only I am discussing, right? So the first part of the question is over. So given problem, read effectively, get a clarity about the information. That clarity we made into a mathematical formulation. In that mathematical formulation we got x greater than or equals to 0, y greater than or equals to 0. That means we have to confine to the first quadrant, because x and y both are positive in first quadrant. That's why our discussion is confined to the first quadrant, right? The next one is given as x plus 3y less than or equals to 12, 3x plus y less than or equals to 12. That means these two are called the constraints. So for these two constraints we are going to draw the graph. How to draw the graph? Observe here, x plus 3y is equals to 12 line equation we are drawing. First of all, x is equal to 0, you will get y is equals to 4. When y is equal to 0, you will get x is equals to 12. So somewhere here this is the point 0 comma 4. Next we have a point here, that is 12 comma 0. The straight line is passing through these 2 points. The line is passing through these 2 points. This is the line. What is that line equation? The equation of that line is x plus 3y is equals to 12. Okay, but we have to shade the inequality x plus 3y less than or equals to 12. We have to shade x plus 3y less than or equals to 12. We have to shade. Substitute 0 comma 0, 0 plus 3 into 0 less than or equals to 12 is true. 0 comma 0 substituting in this inequality satisfying. That's why 0 comma 0 satisfying. That's why we have to shade towards the origin. Don't shade, keep it in mind. We have to shade towards the origin. That is the first part. Next part is we have to draw the line 3x plus y is equals to 12. Come on. When x is equal to 0, you will get y is equals to 12. When y is equals to 0, you will get x is equals to 4. That's why one point is 0, 12. The other point is 4, 0. Represent those points on the number line. This is the point 4, 0 on x-axis. Somewhere here the point 0, 12 on y-axis. The straight line is passing through these 2 points. The line is passing through these 2 points. So that line equation is given by 3x plus y is equals to 12. Here also we have to shade the inequality 3x plus y less than or equals to 12. Come on, substitute 0, 0. 3 into 0 plus 0 less than or equals to 12 is true. That's why 0, 0 satisfy. That's why we have to shade towards the origin. Earlier also towards the origin, now also towards the origin. So what is the common portion? Observe once again, I told x and y are positive because x greater than or equal to 0, y greater than or equal to 0 possible in first quadrant. Now here we got x plus 3y less than or equals to 12, that's why towards the origin. Here 3x plus y less than or equals to 12, that's why towards the origin. This is the common portion we got. This portion is called the feasible region. This portion is called the solution region. First of all, shade that portion. This is the way of shading that portion. Observe here. So this is the feasible region where the objective function has optimal value. Optimal value means either maximum value or minimum value. In this particular case, we have to get the maximum value, that means maximum profit we have to get. Now O, A, B, C is called feasible region. Whether the objective function has a maximum value or a minimum value. Objective function has a maximum value or minimum value exist at the corner points of the feasible region. This is one corner point, this is another corner point, and this is one more corner point, and this is another corner point. Just once go through the textbook, they have given one theorem type. That theorem proof is not required. Just the objective function has a maxima or a minima at the corner points of the feasible region only. Now, what are the corner points we got? 0, 0 is one corner point. 4, 0 is another corner point. 0, 4 is one more corner point. But what about this particular corner point? To get that particular corner point, we have to solve first equation and we have to solve the second equation. If you solve these two equations, we will get the point of intersection as 3, 3. Now the other corner point is 3, 3. Now the objective function is 17.5 into x plus 7y. 0 when x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0. Now if you substitute in place of x 4, then what happens? The value you will get is 70. Next, in place of y, if you substitute 4, you will get the value as 28. Next case, what happens? 17.5 into 3, you will get 52.5 plus 7 3s are 21, that is equals to 73.5. Among all these values, which value is the maximum? 73.5 is the maximum value. That's why we can say the objective function. This is the objective function. The objective function has a maximum value 73.5 when x is equal to 3, y is equal to 3. X denotes number of packets of nuts, y denotes number of packets of bolts. So if the manufacturer produce 3 packets of nuts, 3 packets of bolts per day to get the maximum profit, The maximum profit is given by 73.5 rupees, right? When x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 3, the manufacturer will get a maximum profit of 73.5 rupees per day. So that is the idea behind the linear programming problems. If you see the first exercise directly these type of questions are given. Like these conditions are given and objective function is also given. They will mention this objective function we have to maximize or minimize. So like these type of problems, directly this information, that means directly the mathematical formulation is given in the first exercise. That's why we are doing the second exercise of linear programming problem, means automatically we are doing the first exercise also. That is the reason directly I started the second exercise. So we have to read the question. After reading the question, we have to make it a mathematical formulation. That mathematical formulation we have to solve graphically. You will get the feasible region. For this feasible region, we have to identify the corner points. Those corner points substitute in the objective function, you will get the maximum, because in the question he is asking maximum. That's why we are getting maximum when x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 3. So that is the way to proceed the linear programming problems questions. So I will try to discuss some more questions. Okay, now read this particular question. A merchant plans to sell two types of personal computers, a desktop model and a portable model, that will cost 25,000 and 40,000 respectively. He estimates that the total monthly demand of computers will not exceed 250 units. This is the point. The total monthly demand of computers will not exceed 250 units. When the demand is not more than 250, that's why no one will keep more than 250 units. Determine the number of units of each type of computers which the merchant should stock to get the maximum profit. If he does not want to invest more than 70 lakhs, he can invest maximum 70 lakhs only, and his profit on the desktop model is 4,500 and a portable model is 5,000. So this is the profit. To get the maximum profit, he is asking number of computers he has to keep. So he is asking, determine the number of units of each type of computers which the merchant should stock to get the maximum profit. He has to get the maximum profit. To get the maximum profit, how many computers he has to keep in stock? So I am assuming X denotes the number of laptop models. Yes or no? Sorry, X denotes the number of desktop models and Y denotes the number of laptop models. No doubt, number of models both must be greater than or equals to 0, which we are calling it as non-negative constraints. Next, the information is X plus Y, whether desktop model or portable model, he can't keep more than 250 units. The reason is monthly demand of the computers will not exceed 250 units. That's why he can keep less than 250 units only. At the same time, one desktop model cost is 25,000. He is purchasing X, that's why 25,000 into X. One laptop model purchasing cost is 40,000. But he is purchasing Y computers, that's why 40,000 into Y. This is the total amount he is spending to purchase the computers. That must be less than or equals to 70 lakhs, because he is saying in the question he don't want to invest more than 70 lakhs. Okay, so that is the second information. Next, the third information is objective function. Profit on desktop model is 4,500 into X. Profit on laptop model is 5,000 because he is purchasing Y. This is the total profit. Profit we have to get maximum, right? So these are the x greater than or equal to 0, y greater than or equals to 0, x plus y less than or equals to 250, 5x plus 8y less than or equals to 400, and this is the objective function which we have to maximize. Now x plus y is equals to 250 line we are drawing. When x is equal to 0, you will get y is equals to 250. That's why 0 comma 250 is 1 point. Next, when y is equal to 0, you will get x is equals to 250. That's why 250 comma 0 is another point. You go somewhere here the point 0 comma 250 on y axis. Somewhere here the point 250 comma 0, that is on x axis. Now join these two points, we are getting a straight line. That straight line is x plus y is equals to 250. The line equation is x plus y is equals to 250. But we have to shade the inequality x plus y less than or equals to 250. Substitute 0 comma 0 satisfying. That's why you have to trade towards the origin. We have to shade. Don't shade completely, just keep it in mind. We have to shade towards the origin. Next one is 5x plus 8y is equals to 1400. We have to shade. Now what happens here, when x is equal to 0, you will get y is equals to 175. That's why 0 comma 175. Next, when y is equal to 0, you will get x value is equals to y is equal to 0, you will get x is equals to 280 comma 0, right? You go somewhere here the point 280 comma 0, and another point is 0 comma 175 somewhere here on y axis. Now join these two points, we will get a line passing through these 2 points. This is the line passing through the 2 points. What about this line equation? That line equation is 5x plus 8y is equals to 1400. 5x plus 8y is equal to 1400. Now 5x plus 8y less than or equal to 1400. 0 plus 0 less than or equal to 1400 is true. Here also we have to shade towards the origin, right? Here also towards the origin. Earlier also we got the towards the origin. Now this is the common portion. The region which I am shading is called feasible region. X and y values are positive in first quadrant. In both the cases we got towards the origin. So that's why this is the common portion. This is the solution region. This point is O, this corner point is A, and this corner point is B, and this corner point is C. This one you know 0 comma 0, and this corner point is 250 comma 0, and this corner point is 0 comma 175. If you solve equation 1 and equation 2, this is equation 1 and this is equation 2. If you solve these two equations, we will get the another corner point. So you will get this corner point as 200 comma 50, right? So once you got the corner points, means first one we have to substitute here 0 comma 0. Next one we have to substitute here 250 comma 0. The next corner point is 200 comma 50, and one more corner point is 0 comma 175. For your kind information, we can't take 0 comma 250 as a corner point. Yes or no? 0 comma 250 is not a corner point. Go for the feasible region, for this shaded portion, whatever the corner points, those only we have to consider. So after substituting this 250 comma 0, 0 comma 0, 200 comma 50, 0 comma 175 in the objective function, we got the maximum value as 11,50,000. That means when x is equals to 200 units, y is equals to 50 units, the merchant will get the maximum profit, right? So just go through the next question. An aeroplane can carry a maximum of 200 passengers. An aeroplane can carry a maximum of 200 passengers, maximum 200 passengers. A profit of 1000 is made on executive class ticket and a profit of 600 is made on each economy class ticket. The airline reserves at least 20 seats for executive class. However, at least 4 times as many passengers prefer to travel by economy class than by executive class. Try to understand this particular point. Okay, first of all, I am assuming number of executive class tickets is equal to x greater than or equals to 0. Number of economy class tickets is equal to y greater than or equals to 0. The aeroplane can carry a maximum of 200 passengers. This x plus y must be less than or equals to 200. And also he is saying that the airline reserves at least 20 seats for executive class. That means x greater than or equals to 20 given. However, very critical point here. At least 4 times as many passengers prefer to travel by economy class than by executive class. So number of passengers traveling in economy class is at least 4 times greater than 4 times to the executive class, y greater than or equals to 4x. That is the information. At the same time, what is the objective function? Because 1000 rupees made on profit on executive class, 600 rupees profit on economy class. This is the objective function which we have to maximize. Okay, so you can observe here x plus y is equals to 200. A straight line passing through 0 comma 200 and 200 comma 0. Sorry, here this is 200 comma 0, 200 comma 0. So a straight line passing through 0 comma 200 and 200 comma 0, but we have to shade the inequality. X plus y less than or equals to 200, 0 comma 0 substitute here. It is satisfying. That's why we have to shade towards the origin. That is the reason we shaded towards the origin. But now we have to draw the line y is equals to 4x. How to draw the line y is equal to 4x? Y is equal to 4x is a straight line passing through origin. This is the straight line. Y is equals to 4x passing through origin. Now can you tell me what about this point of intersection? Here if you put y is equal to 4x, y is equal to 4x, you will get x is equals to 40, right? So this is equals to 40. When x is equals to 40, you will get y is equal to 160. This point is 40 comma 160. Next we have to draw the another line. Okay, wait. We drawn the line y is equal to 4x only, but we have to draw y greater than or equals to 4x. In all the previous cases we are substituting 0 comma 0, but now 0 comma 0 is there on the line only. That's why to this line either upper side or lower side, take any one point, either this side or this side, take any one point. Already a point is there, 0 comma 200 is there, take that point. Okay, 0 comma 200 I am substituting there. Then what happens? In place of y we have to substitute 200, in place of x we have to substitute 0. For 200 is greater than 0 is true, right? That's why we have to shade towards that point, because earlier origin is satisfying. That's why towards the origin. Now this point is satisfying. That's why towards that point we are shading. Now how to draw the line x greater than or equals to 20? You know how to draw the line x is equal to 20. It's a straight line parallel to x axis. This is the line x is equals to 20. But here you know very well x greater than or equals to 20 means this side. Now what is the common portion? Here we got towards the origin. here towards the point 0 comma 200. This triangular portion is the feasible region. This is the feasible region. This is the solution region. This is one corner point, and here we have another corner point, and this is one more corner point. Here x is equals to 20. You will get y is equals to 180. Here x is equals to 20. You will get y is equals to x is equals to 20. You will get y is equals to 80. So what are the corner points? A, this is B, and this is C. Now we have to find out the value of the objective function at these corner points. First point is 40 comma 160. Next point is 20 comma 180, and next point is 20 comma 80. Substitute these points in the objective function 1000x plus 600y. So after substituting these values in the given objective function, when x is equals to 40 and y is equals to 160 tickets, so the aeroplane operator is getting the maximum profit, that is 1,36,000. That's why number of executive class tickets must be 40 and number of economy class tickets must be 160. So that the operator will get the maximum profit. That maximum profit is equal to 1,36,000. So observe this particular question here. Two godowns A and B have grain capacity 100 quintals and 50 quintals respectively. They supply to three ration shops D, E and F, whose requirements are 60, 50 and 40 quintals respectively. The cost of transportation per quintal information is given here. Okay, once you observe there carefully, grain capacity is 100 quintals and 50 quintals. Godown's capacity is 100 quintals and 50 quintals. And here shop D requirement is 60. Yes, shop D requirement is 60, 50, 40 respectively for D, E, F. Availability 150, requirement also 150. Observe here, this is godown A, availability is 100 quintals, and this is godown B. Here also availability is 50 quintals. Now we have here ration shop D is there. This is a ration shop D. Requirement is 60. Here we have ration shop E is there. E requirement is 50, and ration shop F is there. That F ration shop requirement is 40. Now I am assuming from A to D, X units of material is transported. From A to E, Y units of material is transported. Or from A, X units supplied to D, Y units supplied to E. How much left at A? The remaining amount left at A we have to supply to F only. That is nothing but 100 minus X minus Y. Now D requirement is 60. We supplied X. More how much required? 60 minus X required. That he has to supply from B. E requirement is 50. We already supplied Y units. More 50 minus Y we have to supply from B. Whereas total availability at B is 50. We supplied 60 minus X to D, 50 minus Y to E. So that is the remaining amount we have to supply to F. Now observe here, number of units transported from A to D. that is x, clearly x greater than or equals to 0. Number of units transported from A to E, y, that is also greater than or equals to 0. Number of units transported from A to F is equal to 100 minus x minus y, greater than or equal to 0. That further we can write it as x plus y less than or equals to 100, right? And next one is from B to D we supplied 60 minus x units, that must be greater than or equals to 0. That's why we can write x less than or equal to 60. Again from B to E we supplied 50 minus y units, greater than or equals to 0. That's why I can write y less than or equal to 50. Next from B to F we transported 50 minus 60 plus x minus 50 plus y units we transported. This is the total amount we transported. That must be greater than or equals to 0. Therefore we will get x plus y greater than or equal to 60. These are the conditions we got, right? So first condition x greater than or equal to 0, y greater than or equals to 0. Next condition is x plus y less than or equals to 100, and next one is x less than or equal to 60, and one more we got y less than or equal to 50 and x plus y greater than or equal to 60. Now observe here from D A to D, what is the transport cost? For 1 unit 6 rupees. We are transporting x units, that's why 6x. From B to D the transport cost is 4 rupees. B to D the transport cost is 4 rupees for 1 unit, but we are transporting 60 minus x units, that's why 60 minus x into 4 units. Again from E to E the transport cost is 3 rupees per 1 unit. Again from B to E the transport cost is 2 rupees for 1 unit, but we are transporting here y units, that's why it becomes 3y. Here we are transporting 50 minus y, that's why the transportation cost becomes 2 into 50 minus y. Next from A to F the transport cost is 2.5 rupees for 1 unit, but we are transporting these many units, so the transport cost is 2.5 into 100 minus x minus y. Now from B to F the transport cost is given as 3 rupees for 1 unit, but we are transporting these many units, that's why 3 into x plus y minus 60. So this is the objective function which we have to. So observe here, we got x greater than or equal to 0, y greater than or equal to 0, x less than or equal to 60, y less than or equal to 50, x plus y less than or equal to 100, x plus y greater than or equal to 60, and this is the transportation cost which we have to minimize. So x greater than or equal to 0, y greater than or equal to 0, confined to the first quadrant. Next one we have to draw the line x is equal to 60. Okay, first of all we will draw the line x plus y is equals to 100. When x is equals to 100, you will get y also equal to 100. That's why one point is 0, 100. Here another point is 100, 0. The straight line is passing through these 2 points. This is the line x plus y is equals to 100. Okay, so that line equation is x plus y is equals to 100. Next we have to draw x is equal to 60 line. So this is the line x is equal to 60. Somewhere here the point 60, 0. So this is the line x is equal to 60. X values are less than or equal to 60. X values are less than or equal to 60 means that side. But here we have to draw x plus y less than or equal to 100 also. that is also true, towards the origin. Here also we have to shade towards the origin, because 0 comma 0 substitute here, satisfying, right? So towards the origin. Next we have to draw the line y is equal to 50. Before going to draw the line y is equal to 50, can you tell me what about this one? X is equal to 60, you will get y is equal to 40. Now y is equal to 50 line. So this is the line y is equals to 50. That is the line y is equals to 50. This point is 0 comma 50, and this line is x is equal to 60, and this line is y is equal to 50. But y less than or equals to 50, here also towards the origin, earlier also towards the origin, x less than or equal to 60 also towards the origin. Now the final one, we have to draw the line x plus y greater than or equal to 60. For that, first of all we have to draw the line x plus y is equal to 60. Take care, x plus y is equal to 60, passing through the point 60 comma 0 and 0 comma 60. This is the line. Take care, already the line x plus y is equal to 100 is there. Both the lines are parallel. Draw in such a way, both the lines are parallel. These two lines, x plus y is equal to 60 and the other one is x plus y is equal to 100. Both the lines are parallel, same slope, right? Difference in constant only. If you are not taking this one as a minimum, take care, the question is going to be wrong, because the person who is correcting the paper came to know these fellows, they don't know about the parallel lines also, right? So that's why this is the two lines are parallel lines. But here we have to get x plus y greater than or equal to 60. 0 plus 0 greater than or equal to 60 is wrong. We are substituting 0 comma 0, not satisfying. That's why away from the origin. Here towards the origin, towards the origin, towards the origin, away from the origin. What is the common portion? This is the common portion. This is the common portion. For this common portion, this is one corner point, that is 60 comma 0. Here we got another corner point, because when x is equal to 60 we got y is equal to 40, and here this is one more point 50 comma 50, right? Because y is equal to 50, we are substituting in this line equation. Next this one, what happened? This is the line x, this is the line y is equal to 50, y is equal to 50, substitute here, you will get x is equal to 10. That's why that corner point is 10 comma 50. So corner points, next objective function is 2.5 into x plus 1.5 into y plus 410. So that is the corner points. Now the first corner point is 60 comma 0, another corner point is 60 comma 40, one more corner point is 50 comma 50, and the last corner point is 10 comma 50. So you can observe here, when x is equals to 60 and y is equals to 40, but you can see here we got the maximum value, but this is wrong, right? Because what is the meaning? We have to get the transportation cost minimum. That's why when x is equals to 10 and y is equals to 50, the transportation cost is minimum. That's why x is equals to 10 and y is equal to 50, the transportation cost will be minimized. Observe here, till now whatever problems we discussed, in all those problems, whether you observed the graph or not, closed graphs. But if the feasible region is unbounded, if the feasible region is unbounded, how to proceed? So that case I am discussing this particular example. Observe here, Reshma wishes to mix two types of food, P and Q, in such a way the vitamin contents of the mixture contain at least 8 units of vitamin A and 11 units of vitamin B. food P cost 60 per kg, food Q cost 80 per kg. Food P contains 3 units of vitamin A, 5 units of vitamin B, while food Q contains 4 units of vitamin A and 2 units of vitamin B. Determine the minimum cost of the mixture that he is asking. Observe here, there are two types of food, P, Q. These are the two types of foods what we have. Okay. So here what is saying, it consists of vitamin A is there and vitamin B is also there. Food P contains 3 units of vitamin A, 5 units of vitamin B. Food Q contains 4 units of vitamin A and 2 units of vitamin B. And also in the question he is saying that at least 8 units of vitamin A. Vitamin A minimum requirement is 8 units. Vitamin B minimum requirement is 11 units. That's why here minimum requirement is 11 units. And also he is saying that food P cost is equal to 60 rupees per kg. Food Q cost is equal to 80 rupees per kg. That is the information. To minimize the cost of the mixture, how to take the food? I am assuming we are taking food P x kgs, food Q we are taking y kgs. No doubt x greater than or equals to 0, y greater than or equals to 0. Now 3x plus 4y, because in 1 unit we have 3 units of vitamin A. That means in 1 kg 3 units of vitamin A is there. In 1 kg 3 units means x kgs 3x. In 1 kg 4 units. But in 1 kg 4 units means in y kgs 4y. 3x plus 4y, this is the total vitamin A that must be greater than or equals to 8. Next 5x plus 2y greater than or equals to 11. This is vitamin B, always greater than or equals to 11. Next z is equal to 60x plus 80y. This is the cost of the mixture which we have to minimize, right? The cost we have to minimize, that is the information. So the given question, so clarity about the given question, and we converted into mathematical formulation of the given question. This is the mathematical formulation we got, right? Now we are going to solve this one graphically. For this we have to draw the graph. Now what happens, the first information is saying that x and y positive first quadrant. Next 3x plus 4y is equals to 8. When x is equal to 0, you will get y is equals to 2. When y is equal to 0, we will get x is equal to 8 by 3. So 0 comma 2 point is somewhere here. This is the point 0 comma 2. 8 by 3 comma 0, you will get somewhere here. This is the point 8 by 3 comma 0. The straight line is passing through these 2 points. What about the straight line? That straight line equation is 3x plus 4y is equals to 8. But we have to shade 3x plus 4y greater than or equals to 8. Substitute 0 comma 0, 3 into 0 plus 4 into 0 greater than or equals to 8. Is 0 greater than or equals to 8 is false. 0 comma 0 not satisfying. That's why we have to shade away from the origin. Next we have to shade 5x plus 2y is equal to 11. When x is equal to 0, you will get y is equal to 11 by 2. That means 0 comma 11 by 2 1 point. Next when y is equal to 0, you will get x is equal to 11 by 5. So that's why we have another point, that is 11 by 5 comma 0, right? 0 comma 11 by 2 is somewhere here. This is the point 0 comma 11 by 2, and 11 by 5 So somewhere here you will get 11 by 5 comma 0. The straight line is passing through these 2 points. This is the line passing through the 2 points. Here also 5x plus 2y greater than or equals to 11. 0 comma sub 0 substitute here, greater than or equals to 11 is false. 0 comma 0 not satisfying. Earlier we got away from the origin, now also we got away from the origin. So what is the portion? This is unbounded portion. This is the region. All are away from the origin. This is the common portion which I am shading. This is the common portion which I am shading. Okay, this is the common portion. For this common portion, this is one corner point, this is another corner point, and this is the another corner point, right? So observe here, after substituting the corner points in the given objective function, we got the minimum value as 160 is the minimum value we got. Array at 2 comma 1 by 2 also we got 160. At 8 by 3 comma 0 also we got 160. That means the objective function has a minimum value at all points on the line segment joining 2 comma 1 by 2 and 8 by 3 comma 0. I can say if it is bounded. If it is a bounded region, we can say the objective function has a minimum value 160 at all points on the line segment joining 2 comma 1 by 2 and 8 by 3 comma 0. But we can't say here directly like that. Okay, further verification is there. So what is the information we got? 60x plus 80y minimum value we got 160. That means 60x plus 80y is always greater than or equal to 160 we got. So let us assume a contradiction for this. We got the information 60x plus 80y is greater than or equal to 160. What is the contradiction for this? 60x plus 80y less than 160 also possible. We are assuming a contradiction. Once again, if it is a closed region, we can stop the question here itself. We can say the objective function attains its minima on the set of all points on the line segment joining 2 comma 1 by 2 and 8 by 3 comma 0. We can say if it is a closed region, bounded region, but it is an unbounded region, we can't give. Further verification is there. What is that verification? Here I am discussing. Observe here. We got the information 60x plus 80y is always greater than or equal to 160. Let us take a contradictory for this. 60x plus 80y less than 160 also possible. Now what about this simplification? You will get 3x plus 4y less than 8. Come on, draw the line. 3x plus 4y is equal to 8 line. Already we have the line 3x plus 4y is equal to 8. Draw the same again with the dotted lines. Same line draw with the dotted lines because strictly less than symbol is there. Draw with the dotted lines. This is the line 3x plus 4y is equals to 8. But we got 3x plus 4y less than 8. Come on, substitute 0 comma 0. 0 less than 8 is true. That means we got towards the origin. We got the towards the origin. Whether you observed or not, for the earlier region and for the present region, there is no common portion. There is no common area. Enough. We have taken a contradiction. For this contradiction and the feasible region, there is no common portion. That's why we can say yes, 160 is the minimum value for the given objective function and is obtained at all points on the line segment joining 2 comma 1 by 2 and 8 by 3 comma 0. Okay, sir, suppose what happens, instead of getting this side the lines, instead of getting these lines this side, for a contradictory case, instead of getting this side we got this side, then what happens, contradictory case has a common portion with the feasible region. So we can say 160 is not the minimum value, and in this case minimum value does not exist. Once again, contradictory case we are taking no common portion, that's why we are saying 160 is the minimum value. Suppose we got a common portion, then we can say minimum value does not exist for the given objective function. So that is the way to proceed this particular question in the case of unbounded. So how to practice this linear programming problems? Now select any 5 questions. Select any 5 questions. Do each and every step. Mathematical formulation, right? Solving by using graph. So do for 5 questions. Next select 10 questions. Write only mathematical formulation. If you are able to write the mathematical formulation correctly enough, that is the way to practice this particular chapter of linear programming. Okay, so bye bye.